Hello, everyone. It is I, the alcoholic audio engineer, coming to you from lovely, scenic Paji City, South Korea. And this here is Chance, Sir Chance-a-lot, the Chancinator. Chance is a little bit cranky because he hasn't had his morning noodle. I opened the door to his little lair, and he came bounding out and clamoring quietly for his morning noodle. It's one of the few things that he will eat when he's being held. He'll even snub his little nose at a piece of lettuce if I'm holding him. But noodle? Nope. Oh, no. He'll take a noodle any way he can get it. Noodle. Yeah. This is a gluten-free noodle. Not that he is gluten intolerant. It's a buckwheat noodle. Okay, Chance, you've had your morning noodle. And Daddy needs to get on with the lessons, so I'm going to put Chance back in his lair. And there's no rain today, so maybe we'll go out for a hippity hop later. Okay, I'm going to hit pause and I'll be right back. Pause. Okay, we're back. And let's see, on the way back from Chance's lair to the bedroom studio, I was accosted by the long-suffering Mrs., who asked me why aren't we going to the supermarket right away. I reiterated that I'm recording a lesson first. And she's in a powerful hurry to get to the supermarket. I was going to do a really long video here on, adding a percussion section to this song project, but looks like I might have to break it up into pieces here. So this might be just focused on the kick. Anyone is familiar with a drum kit, and most people know what the kick is, a kick drum in a standard 4/4 groove, kick snare, boom, choo, boom, choo. In recording the acoustic guitar track, you noticed that I did kind of a snare sound by slapping the guitar, hitting the guitar with the heel of my hand while I was playing it. But I think I will add, a dedicated snare sound. Again, why did I track the guitar and the vocal separately? So that I can have individual control over those elements of the song. I may decide that I don't like that guitar track later on. I can go back and redo it. I don't like that vocal track. I can go back and redo it, or parts of it. So I like to have, dedicated elements that I can go back and edit, alter, redo, or remove entirely. So, even in the studio, even in a high-end studio situation, they'll mic up a drum kit, and they've got mics on all the different. They got mics on the kick, on the snare, on the toms, different cymbals, and as much as possible, they try to isolate those different sounds from one another so that they can process them individually. And then often they'll have a room sound So if you look at a mic'd up drum kit, often you'll see like these two pencil-shaped overhead mics. Those are called overhead mics. They're usually small diaphragm condensers. This USB mic is a large diaphragm condenser. It's the diaphragm is the membrane that vibrates and picks up the sound waves and converts them into electrical signals. And by the way, a microphone is just a speaker, and vice versa. They're the same thing. They just perform opposite functions. But I digress. So I think I've got to keep the long-suffering Mrs. happy. We're out of eggs and milk, I think, and probably other things. We're out of lettuce for Chance. So I can't go on too long with this one. I think I'm going to focus on the kick, but that's enough. That's enough. So as you might be able to see, I've got some things that I dragged out of the storage closet. Didn't find everything that I wanted to. We moved here fairly recently. Things always get lost in a move. I don't know how, but it always happens. And no alcohol was involved. Well, actually, yeah. But anyways, yeah. But I don't think that's the issue. It could be that I still have the thing that I'm looking for, but it's just somewhere I can't think of. I'm missing a certain drum that I'm going to have to, hopefully that'll surface at some point. It's a pretty cool drum. Unique and rare. Not unique, but rare. It's a Tibetan dragon drum. I tend to have such things. I do have another drum that's somewhat exotic, I suppose, a little bit. This is an traditional Irish drum. It's got is that a Celtic cross? Celtic. What's the handle? All right, you see that? It's a pretty cool drum. It's got a special stick that I'm not a drummer or percussionist, but listen to it. I can't be playing this at night, not even softly. The long-suffering Mrs. would not have it, so that's why I've got to do these percussion dealios during the day. When there's a lot of noise outside, there's all kinds of stuff going on in this neighborhood. There's a big apartment complex under construction across the way. So, during the day you can hear the lovely sound of, stone slabs being sawn. Is that the right past participle? Sawn, S-A-W-N, sawed. You can hear landscapers with their weed whackers. You can hear, kids cavorting around, all kinds of stuff. So for that reason, I have the windows shut and the doors closed. I've isolated this room as much as possible from extraneous noises, but it's no guarantee that something won't leak in. And that's just the way it is. So it's not good to be too type A about this stuff. It is what it is. We're doing this for fun, and for the sake of sobriety. Some of us, perhaps many of us at some point on this particular channel. Uh, so I've got the room sealed. It is not particularly hot today. It's overcast. It is the monsoon season here in the ROK, the Republic of Korea. And I've got the I might say weird words from time to time because I've been living in a foreign country for a long, long ass time. And they have something here called Konglish. It's a portmanteau of Korean and English. Konglish. A portmanteau is a kind of a made-up word that's made from anyway. Korean English, Konglish. And I've picked up some of it along the way. It's become second nature. So when I say I have the aircon running, aircon is Konglish for AC, air conditioning. I think I might have said aircon. And you were like, what the hell is he talking about? Is he talking about that movie with Nicolas Cage? Oh, that's Con Air. No, aircon. No, that's the AC. It does make a little bit of a sound that is not optimal. It adds a little bit to the background. You might be able to hear it. It's pretty quiet, but again, little things like that. Well, I'll probably shut it off when I'm actually tracking. So we want to eliminate noise as much as possible, but we don't want to be too type A about it. So anyways, this is for another time. We're going to use this for a special effect. And we're going to be talking about, look, so you don't have access to a drum kit or someone to play it. This is the least of your concerns. Oh, and why do I have this Windows standard issue Windows wallpaper on my desktop? I just had a reinstall last weekend, and so I brought it home, fresh install of Windows 10, and I'm re-downloading all of my software and everything, and then I kind of go to choose a wallpaper for my desktop, and I kind of stopped, and I looked at it coldly. I stepped back, and I assessed the moment, as it were, and I examined my motivations. It's like, why do I want to personalize this? It's a tool. Technology has, it's enhanced our lives. It's also been, quite invasive in some ways. And I decided I just want to I want to be reminded to look at this thing as a tool. Right? I don't personalize my hammer drill or my circular saw or my any of my tools. I don't personalize them in any way. I don't put stickers on them or decorate them. I just use them. And the computer's a tool. I don't want to make it a part of my personal being. So, the standard Windows wallpaper it is. It's actually a pleasant color anyway. All right, so again, I digress. We're going to start with the kick. And there's all different kinds of kicks, all different kinds of kick sounds. And again, these lessons are tailored for absolute beginners. If anything is old hat to you, well, you may want to stick around anyway. If only for the satisfaction of nitpicking at at my lesson. And leave a snarky comment. You can shitpost on my channel. No biggie. As you can see, there are characteristics of a drum sound. This is Brave browser. I recommend it. It's got some nice built-in features that you don't have to pay for. Ad blockers and stuff like that. And it's got an AI assistant. I don't use Siri or anything like that. I'm a paranoid conspiracy realist. But the Brave web search AI assistant is pretty nifty. It really is. You can type in a search term and it'll kind of like, it does exactly that. It assists. It scours multiple search results and kind of compiles them and gives you a synopsis, if you will, of what it finds. And so this is really a great AI-assisted search result. Characteristics of a drum sound. Based on the provided search results, the following characteristics of a drum sound can be identified. Doesn't that sound like an AI? That's the way an AI should sound, in my humble. And as you can see, we've got quite a few terms here. It's good to know what you're dealing with, right? I mean, you don't want to. Maybe you want to. Maybe you don't. Do a deep dive into all of the technical ins and outs of a drum sound. Other sounds have the same characteristics, but anyway, timbre or timbre. Again, this is a term that applies across all sorts of sounds. Voice, all different instruments have different timbres. Timbres. I've heard both. I could say sort of in the middle. I can hedge my bets. Timbre. I like timbre. Timbre. I'm going to say it that way. The unique tone color or sound quality of a drum. Influenced by the drum shell material, construction, and tuning. Timbre can describe differences in sound between drums with the same tuning and playing technique. All right, so you can get as detailed as you like in understanding these sound characteristics, but just basically know what they are, because as I'm going to demonstrate, you're in full control of all these sound characteristics when you add percussion to a track. Brightness. Steel shell drums are known for their bright tone, long sustain, and penetrating rim shot sound. Ooh, that sounds a little bit... that's just my dirty mind. If that didn't strike you in any way, just disregard me. I'm gross. I've been in gross places. You can't wash your mind. You can only try to keep it clean and tidy. Punchiness. Birch shell drums are described as having a punchy and sustaining sound suitable for rock and metal music. Yeah. I was just driving to the dollar store a couple of days ago, listening to my favorite Korean radio station, Happy FM 106.1. Happy FM. And it is indeed happy. It's upbeat. And I was driving to the dollar store, and what were they playing? Pour Some Sugar on Me. Remember that? Are you old enough? I remember that album, the summer that album came out. Was it the summer? It seems like it was. And I'm, driving my 1970 Chevy pickup with the standard shift on the steering column. 3 gears. Plus reverse. And, listen to that with my improvised high-end speaker system. Pour some sugar on me in the name of love. One lump or two. One lump or two. Metal. I was a metalhead back then. Yeah, driving to the Y. In lovely, scenic Ardmore, Oklahoma, where I spent my high school years. 2 hours due north of Dallas, Fort Worth. Brought back some memories, and then at the end of the song, the Korean DJ comes on, and as they always do, yeah. How do they say it? 자, 그것은 그녀들은 pour some sugar on me, on the leopard. Yeah, like he's some kind of musicologist. He intones the track title and the artistes. Anyway, I digress, as I do. Okay, back to business. Resonance, the drum shell's physical characteristics, such as thickness and material, affect its resonance. I resonate with that. And ability to amplify certain frequencies. Attack. This is an important one. It's not just, not just a drum term. The sharpness or softness of the drum's attack. Influenced by the drumhead material and tension, as well as the playing technique. All true. There's a thing called a transient, which you can see in the waveform. That's when the sound occurs and the waveform goes from, well, not zero, but nothing, essentially nothing, to something. It's the Big Bang of that particular sound event. And like the universe itself, at least in theory, it has a beginning, a middle, and an end. I personally disagree with that assessment of the universe, that is. But I'm not going to get into that here. Boy, I'm digressing a lot this morning. Ooh. But again, that's okay. So, attack. Sometimes you want a really sharp attack. Sometimes you want a soft attack. Bass guitar parts, right? It's really important for bass. And attack. Learn what attack and sustain are the two main ones. Sustain, the duration of the drum sound after the initial attack, affected by the drum shell's resonance and the drum head, blah, 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 blah. Pitch, fundamental frequency, and overtone structure. Yeah, rim shot. Okay. Distinctive sound produced by striking the rim of the drum, which can be bright and penetrating or dull and muffled, depending on how much booze you've had and how long it's been ever since. I'm sorry. I'm still 14 years old at heart. Some part of me is still just a 14-year-old with pimples where they shouldn't be. Depending on the drum shell and playing technique. Even if you're just improvising a drum kit in your bedroom, that's the next. Again, it's not just going to be this video. I'm going to do more as I can. I'm going to, hopefully, supermarket trip aside, I'll be able to get through the percussion section all today. Can't work on it at night. If not today, then I'll finish by tomorrow. All right, so, and while we're on le internet, dialed up this search term, kick drum sound files. Now, if this is DIY, and I'm going to do it the most DIY way that you can. I'm using items that I have lying around the homestead, which is how I started out. I might have sent a mixed signal in the first lesson tutorial. Lesson sounds kind of condescending. Tutorial. I said that I got into home audio recording, and I did that as I made it sound like I discovered it and then subsequently it got me through the worst stages of alcohol cessation and sustained me into recovery where I am now. That is partially true. I started out teaching myself home audio recording back around 1999, 2000. I was living in New York City. And, back in those days, I had to dial up modem, internet access, AOL online. You might be old enough to remember that. Probably are. If you're here, you're almost definitely old enough to remember that and more. And back then, at that time, there was no YouTube. And there was what I'm about to show you, but it was a lot less accessible. Now it's just all at your fingertips. Just depends on you and what you want and how much time and energy you're willing to invest in various learning curves. You can get your sounds pre-sampled, real drums that have been sampled, and you can work those into your mix. And but that's a different process. It's a whole different thing that I'm not going to get into right now. I don't feel like it. To me, it's tedious, and it's just going to get in the way of the. I want to be kind of madcap and zany, and really super DIY with this. I don't want to get tedious with things. So, but you can go down that path. You can get a drum machine. This is what to do if you just can't afford anything, and you if you're like me and you don't like getting too tedious with technical things. How do I download the samples? How do I choose a sample? How do I get the samples all together into my Cakewalk project? It's quite the learning curve, especially if you're just starting out. So back to the external USB mic and what I have lying around the house. That's what we're working with. But just to show you, just a kick drum, just a snare drum, whatever you're working in, just one drum. You can go as deep and detailed as you want. If you decide that you want to get some samples and work with samples, I just dialed up the search just to give you an idea. Kick drum sound files. You can free kick drum sound effects download. Pixabay. Oops, I dropped my Badrain stick. Badrain, that's the Irish drum. I think that's how you pronounce it. Probably not the correct pronunciation. Bodhrain. Badrain. Badrain. Probably a completely different pronunciation. It being Irish. Celtic, Gaelic, whatever. Yeah, you can get free. You get them free. SoundSnap. Probably got to sign up for a free account and deal with some pop-ups, but yeah. Oh, that could be a kick sound. I just idly tapped my black leather chair. It's dead. It's got that little squeaky sound when I move around in the chair, but Look. Oh. You know, a lot of things could be a kick. You can go and just like listen to all, you know, if you want to, you can listen to hundreds, thousands of different kick samples. Some of them are big and boomy with long decays. Some of them are really tight with no decay. You know, it's just sometimes it's just a thud. A thud. All you need is a thud. And then, of course, after we track the kick drum, you know, different ways of going about that. I can track the kick drum from beginning to end, live into the mic, or you know, I could, if I wanted to, I could just sample one thud, and you know, just like in a word processor, I could copy paste all throughout the song. There's one reason I did it to a metronome. What's also called a click track. When you've technically that's different. A click track is when you've got the metronome recorded to a track. It's a dedicated track with the metronome that you can switch on and off. It's called the metronome. That's why I recorded to the metronome. I might go back. Let me turn this on. I like that. I just did a Korean. I went ash. That's Korean for shit. Ash. Korean doesn't have a whole lot of curse words in it. If you watch a movie with you know, Korean gangsters. I watched a movie with Korean. What was that movie? What was that movie? Oh, it had Jean-Claude Van Damme. I think it was this year. Earlier this year it came out. Maybe last year. An aging Jean-Claude Van Damme. Takes place in L.A. Chinatown. Except it's Korean gangsters he's dealing with. And they go off on their, you know, they've got their banter in Korean. And they're cursing up a storm. And it's just all the same, like 6 curse words repeated endlessly. Shibaseki. Shibaseki. I say it all the time. Because the long-suffering missus doesn't like when I curse. She's Korean, of course, but she knows all the Korean curse words. I mean, all the, of course. But she knows a lot of the English profanity lexicon. And my daily verbiage tends to be laced with expletives because I irritate myself a lot and other things irritate me a lot. So it's can become second nature. Okay. Where were we? Oh yeah. I may go into this. That would be a good lesson later on. I might go ahead and add a drum track from this audio interface. The fact that, you know, I did it again. I laid down the guitar track to a metronome at 90 beats per minute. That means I can go into the drum machine in this audio interface here. I got to put this stick down, keep whacking things with it, and I can dial up a drum loop at 90 beats per minute. 90 beats per minute. And you know, I can insert it into our project, nudge it around till it fits. Yeah. See where this is going? I hope. If you didn't at first, man, I really hope to get some total noobs here. I wish I could be you. I really do. It's so fun. Oh, when the lights start going on. Oh, but they never stop going on. It's endless. That's the great thing about this hobby. The lights never stop going on. Yeah, so you can go listen to all different, hundreds, thousands of different kick samples. They're out there. And they're free. You can pay for them, of course. Or you can jump through a few hoops, and get some for free. So, what to use for a drum kick, a kick drum sound. So, let's talk about attack and envelope. Envelope is like the whole waveform of the sound. From the transient, from the attack, through the decay, the sustain, everything together. Envelope. I think that's right. Sometimes I use terms incorrectly. Sound. Envelope. Pattern describing a sound or note's changing amplitude over time. Amplitude is amplitude. How loud or soft it is. How big it is. Amplitude. Amplify. Amplifier. Right? You're taking a signal and amplifying it, making it louder, bigger. Amplitude. How loud or soft it is. Over time. There's a transient, an attack, a strike, and then a decay. The heat death of the universe. I don't think it works that way, personally. I think we're living in the dark ages of physics. Computers and all technology, all this shit is engineering. You know, a great movie about engineering, old school engineering, the real stuff. Ford versus Ferrari. God, I love that movie. That's such a man's movie. Yeah, I'm old school. I believe in differences between men and women. I celebrate them. And I appreciate them. It's kind of like, yeah. Okay, I'm not going to digress on that. What am I going to use for a kick? Well, I've got 3 different striking devices here. This is the Baudrain stick. As you can see, it's just wood. And so it's going to have a very sharp attack no matter what I strike with it. This is a rubber mallet. It's going to have still a pretty sharp attack, but somewhat less sharp than just the raw wood. This here is a Korean shaman gong mallet. Not just shaman gongs. It's a Korean gong mallet. I have a shaman gong right over there on the bed. And you're going to hear it. This is the mallet for it. It's, as you can see, it's very thick cushion. This is going to have the softest attack, and the sharpness or softness of that attack is going to depend on what I'm hitting with it and where on that object I am hitting it and how I am hitting it. Loudly or softly. Am I hitting it with a snap or a, right? You done martial arts? You martial artist? These days I do Wing Chun. People shit all over Wing Chun. You can't use that in the octagon. That's worthless. Yeah, okay. All right. I guess you've never been in a real situation before, have you? You get into it out on the street. There ain't no cage. Thank God. Wing Chun is good for old guys. You know, high kicky kicks. It's not for dueling. Taekwondo is for dueling. All right? And by the way, I'm a wrestler. I was a high school wrestler in Oklahoma. Don't fuck with me. All right? Not that you would. Well, some, all kinds out there. Wing Chun is great. It's really adaptable and applicable to your grappling game. It's just in ways that they're not applicable to sports. It's not for sports. You can't be wearing gloves or mitts or whatever you wear in the barely concealed male gay porn that is MMA. Don't get me started. Anyway, how did I get into that? Oh yeah, the snap, there are snappy kicks, right? Karate and in Taekwondo to some extent, like snappy kicks, but Muay Thai, like Thai kickboxing, that roundhouse kick to the thigh and the knee, it's a staple kick that they do. That's not a snap kick. That's a follow-through kick. It snaps from the hip. That's not quite right. There's a little bit of not really a snap though. You're swinging your whole leg like a baseball bat. Anyway, the manner in which you strike whatever object that you're striking. These are all, all goes into, I don't have to explain all this. Shut up and improvise. AAE. So, I got a Badrain, I've got some gongs over there. Not going to use those now. Now that, can you see that guitar over there? I have sentimental reasons for liking that guitar, but I don't like playing it. Don't particularly like the way it sounds. Sorry, guitar. Nothing personal. The reason I still have you around is personal. But this guitar body can be used to make a tom sound. If I tightly dampen the strings with my palm so there's no resonance from the strings when I hit it. I think this rubber mallet on the it's a very kind of high sharp tom sound. And depending on where I hit it, right? I hit it right in the middle of the body. There's one. There's another. There's another. It's a really high tom. We should try it with the Korean gong mallet. Okay, that's a deeper tom sound. Right? Just it depends on what you're after. All right. The Badrain mallet. That's very sharp attack. That's like a tiny little tom up there. Really small head. Very tightly tuned. It helps to know the different components of a drum kit, especially when you're talking about this stuff. I'm not a drummer. I'm not extremely well versed, but I've been doing this long enough. I've been making music long enough that, if you don't know what a tom is, a tom, go look up the different parts of a drum kit. I don't have to look up everything on the internet for you, do I? What are the basic components of a drum kit? Kick, snare, toms, just think Charlie Watts, Rolling Stones, think Ringo Starr, Beatles, right? Just a basic kit. That's all we're after. We're not trying to be Neil Peart here, right? Although you can be, again, you get like a software drum machine thing. You can plug it into Cakewalk. You get your drum sound. You could build virtual kits, and you can program your drum track. You can the whole 9 yards and beyond. You can do it all. So I said, so kick, snare. That's the most basic. That's the most, you can hear the long-suffering Mrs. giggling out there. Yeah, she's on the phone with somebody. That's good. She's enjoying her conversation. That's always good to hear. Yeah, kick and snare. That's all you need, really. Sometimes just a kick. Sometimes just a kick. And then toms. Tom-toms. Toms. And then of course you got your different cymbals. And cowbells and crotals and, you know, it goes on and on and on. But chimes. All right. Kick. Focus. Focus, AAE. Focus. I've decided, I'm just going to cut to the chase. I've decided that for my kick, I'm going to use this cardboard box. It's got a very flat, dull thud sound. I could use something with like more, you know, attack and more sound characteristics, but then, you know, ultimately I'm just going to be using EQ and other things to deaden it. Anyway. Because that's, I just want like a pretty dead, flat, dull kick drum sound. I just want a bump. I just want a thud. Cardboard box. You know, that's the tabby cat in me. Yeah, every cat likes a box. So, you know, I mean, it depends, even with a cardboard box. Depends on how you hit it, what you hit it with, even how you hold it. Right now I'm kind of like holding it on my lap, kind of squeezing it to the side of my rib cage. That's a good way to play it. I was going to stand up and kind of hold it. Should I turn it around? The flap is knocking against the keyboard. Okay. Stay there. Okay, there's a kick sound. That's a little messy. I don't want all that. I just want this. That's fine. Make sure not to clip it. It's also a real convenient. I can just sit here like you can see in the other camera how I'm holding it. Where do I hit it? Down here in the corner? In the middle? I think it's better. That's really dead. Not that that's wrong. There's no wrong or right here. It's just that's got a little bit more timbre to it. More decay. More of an envelope. More resonance. That's not bad. I don't want to hit it so hard that I punch it in. Punch through it. I got this at the supermarket and I didn't. They don't have the roll of tape where I could tape it shut. They're cutting corners. Everybody's cutting corners these days. So I had to fold the flaps. So if I hit it too hard, I'll punch through it. But that's decent. It's even got some room sound in this tiny little bedroom. So, okay, I told her about an hour. And I'm already at 49 minutes. Holy camoli. Holy cannoli. Holy moly. Trying to keep it reasonably clean. I don't want my lessons to just be profanity laced, right? It sounds fine. Just clipping it. It's clipping on my podcast sound meter. But I'm going to start up Cakewalk. And if I'm snappy about it, I might get this done in an hour. And just track it. And then, yeah, I'll EQ it, probably start the next lesson EQing the kick that I've tracked. And she's out there yakking away. That could bleed in. But there's something to do about it. There's always something. There's always a workaround. Usually, almost always, there's a workaround. So here we go. Firing up Cakewalk. It's firing up on the wrong screen. Why is it doing that? Should be up here, Cakewalk. Click, click. What are you doing, Cakewalk? Oh, that's my splash screen. Okay. Shh. All right. Oh, yeah. Gorilla building a song. That's what I decided to call this project, because the tutorial series, the playlist title is Building a Song, which is what this is, building a song. We've laid the foundation. We're still laying the foundation. You know? We've done the rebar. We're pouring the cement. Okay, so I'm in console view. I want to go back to track view because I'm tracking. How do I do that? I could go up to views and select track view. Don't have to do that. I can just use this toggle button down here in the lower left-hand corner. By the way, the last lesson, sometimes I forget to move. Sometimes I forget to move this and get out of my own way. I was looking at last night's lesson, and I was talking about stuff that down here you can clearly see. No, you can't. No, you can't, moron, because it's hidden behind your camera, right? I have to be more mindful of that. I want to be more mindful about that, and I want to stop calling myself an idiot and a moron. But I'm not serious about that. I say that. I'm self-deprecating in good fun. I'm not self-harming. Okay. I'm not cutting myself. It's okay. It's okay. You don't have to worry about that. I'm not self-harming. Just self-deprecating. Okay, so I'm just going to put this back over here. All that's down here is just the magnifying glass thingies, and so that's the best place to park that. Right, so anyway, I'm going back to track view. Track view. Hello. Track view. Sometimes it does this. Yeah. It's software, it's computer. They're stupid shit. So, let me see here. Okay, now I'm back in track view. I don't know, shit like that happens. Why isn't it? I click track view. Where's track view? Right? Don't be like me. You know, sometimes you just got to restart the computer. Just restart the whole thing. Just restart everything. All right. So, without further ado, I haven't vaped either. I was gonna. You know what? It's the morning time. It's my favorite time for nicotine. I beg your pardon. Ah, I think nicotine is not a bad drug. I like it. I admit it. I like it. It's a drug that I like. I also like green tea. Coffee, not so much these days. I'm much more sparing. I'm much more particular about my caffeine intake. Generally, the no sugar Coke is enough caffeine to get me going and sustained. Not that I need caffeine. I don't. One of the great things when you give up booze, you got so much more energy, and you don't have to borrow it. You know, credit card energy. Don't need it. Just mood enhancement. Just enhancement. Tweaking. Okay, so I like nicotine. Always have. All right, so, this is really simple. I'm just going to whack this cardboard box with this Korean gong mallet. Try to be reasonably in time. My metronome should be on and ready to go. And so I'm just going to track it all the way through the track. I'm not going to bother with copy paste. I'll be doing that later on, but not right now. So I'm going to track this kick sound and call it a take, call it a lesson, and be back later in the day. So let me see. Let's do our leveling first. So I'm gonna see. I'm gonna hit Fit Project. Is everything in one window? And I don't need to minimize these yet because I'm only on the third track. I'm gonna rename it Kick. Let's see. Click, click. There. Kick. Enter. I'm gonna arm it for recording. I've got audio signal. Now, if I didn't get the bouncing green bars, I'd know that there's no audio signal, and then maybe the mic is not selected. I've got to go back up into preferences. Maybe it got connected to something else, right? Line M audio black box. That's my audio interface. It's not plugged in right now, but if it was, it might have might have it connected to that. So anyways, I got the bouncing green input meter bars. I'm going to go ahead and turn off the aircon, the AC. It's comfortable in here now. There you go. All right, so let's, okay, clipping. Get a little further back. If I do that, I'm going to have a little bit more. Now, I should say a word about this. There are rooms in a studio that are dead, that technically have no reverb at all, no room sound. And sometimes, that's preferred. If you just, especially in like highly produced music, there's like the, signature snare sounds, right? The Bob Rock snare, from 80s hair metal and up into the 90s, the Bob Rock sound, that snare sound, right? That's all, they track the drum sound in a totally reverb free, room, foam padded room, and then they tightly control. That's my thigh. I could just whack my thigh if I want a totally dead, but the pitch is a little bit high for a kick. That's not, you see, that's clipping a little bit. Let me move back. Clipping. So, what am I going to do? Going to go back to preferences. Settings, it's called. Settings. System. See, that's my real name. Admin. Admin. It's my real name. You want to dox me? I live in Paju, South Korea, and my name is Admin. Docs away. System. I know. Those of you that are serious about it can do it. I don't give a shit. Docs me. I got nothing to hide. Sound. Input. Device properties. That's what I was looking for last night. That's my, this is my first trim stage. Got 2 trim stages. Trim means input gain. This is the first gate from the microphone into the computer. Set at 85. At least this could be a big brain fart. I could be in the middle of a long brain fart, but I think this is the case. If I set this to 100, all right, and then I go to advanced sound options. That's where I'm going to. Okay, so I've got the main input set at 100, which is where I like to keep it anyway. Sometimes Windows changes it. Why? I set it there for a reason. I'm not going to go into a rant about that. Yeah, so Cakewalk is input 85. Device properties, that's my microphone. Titan Studio Pro. Still at 100. So initial input gain into the sound card is 100. Can't go any higher than that. So after that, I set the input trim for Cakewalk. The input gain for Cakewalk, that's at 85. Let's go back to leveling in the DAW. It's going to clip a little easier now. So this is all 6 of one, half a dozen of the other, right? But I just like to keep the first input set at 100. But you do you. I'm going to take this down to 75. We're going into Cakewalk at 75. All right, I have to hit that pretty hard to clip it. So I'm not going to hit it too hard. I want a pretty subdued kick sound. All right. AAE, shut up and track. Here we go. By the way, this button right here, it's input echo. I'm gonna toggle it on so you can hear what it does. All right. Now I don't know if you can hear this. Now there's a little bit of a slapback echo. I'm hearing it in my headphones. I don't know if you're gonna hear that in the video recording, but you know, sometimes you want to turn this on when you track. I'm not going to explain why now, especially when you track vocals. I don't mind it. I kind of like it, actually. I'm going to leave it on, and away we go. I'm going to start from the very beginning. As you might remember, if you did the first lesson, there are 8 clicks on the metronome before the guitar comes in. And that's why I left those 8 clicks. So that, because I want to start from the beginning I want to start from the very beginning, so I need some lead-in time. All right. Hopefully I nail this in one go, so that I can not be too much later than I told the long-suffering missus I was going to be, and then she'll just, that's enough to make her happy that I wasn't too late. I've got it pretty easy. Okay. Too easy, some would say. R for record. I got a request I actually got a comment. And the person said, can you do a tutorial on keyboard shortcuts? And yeah, why the hell not? I mean, that's something that you could easily, in 5 seconds, you could go type Cakewalk keyboard shortcuts. But yeah, I'm at your service. Why not? That's a request. I will honor that request, and I will do a video tutorial on Cakewalk keyboard shortcuts. Anyway, you've learned two so far. Spacebar is play and stop, and R is record, and spacebar is stop recording. Was R a toggle? I forget. I think it might be a toggle. Start and stop recording. Anyway, let's go ahead. I'm going to get a little closer here. Again, I'm not pointing the microphone straight at the drum. I'm not worrying about that right now. There are times when you might want to, but I just don't want to mess around with moving the mic. All right. And I'm going to move my... Wait a minute. Don't want to move that. I want that. There we go. Yeah, back here. I don't know why I moved that there. Okay. Away we go. Wait. Hold on. There. In Cakewalk. Cakewalk is clicked. I'm going to let it click a few times before I start. I clicked it already. Control Z. Got carried away. Actually, I can't. Oh yeah, I can do that. Here, I talked. I talked before I started playing, and I don't want to hear that. So here, right here is where the guitar starts. Right here is where I'm jib-jabbing. And drag that so I don't hear that. Again, I'm in snap mode. If I want to fine tune, and sometimes you want to finally place. Okay, I'm just gonna put it there. Now you're not gonna hear me making that comment. Fit project, and away we go.
Well, I have had it up to here with all their fake-ass flaws. I am nothing but a walking case of probable cause. Sometimes I think this world ain't nothing but a set of deadly jaws designed to chew up our perfection and spit it into flaws. When I am plotting my escape, the only thing that gives me pause is that gorilla in the corner of the room.
Clipped it. Not the end of the world, but, and you can see, I'm not hitting it. I'm actually wildly inconsistent. That's why we have things like compression, which I'm going to get into. But I'm going to try to do a better job than this. I'm going to move further away from the microphone and try to be more consistent. I'm not good at this. Not good at it. Doesn't mean there's no reason not to do it though. Just keep trying until you get it. Persistence.
Well, I have had it up to here with all their fake-ass flaws. I am nothing but a walking case of probable cause. Sometimes I think this world ain't nothing but a set of deadly jaws designed to chew up our perfection and spit it into flaws. When I am plotting my escape, the only thing that gives me pause is that gorilla in the corner of the room. That gorilla in the corner of the room. He's so heavy. He's so heavy. He's so heavy. He's so heavy. Once upon a time I lost a piece of my mind to a flash of summer lightning almost rendered me blind. I surely would have lost my way but for some friends who were kind enough to lead me back along the labyrinths I'd left behind. Still when I'm groping for my keys, the only thing I seem to find is that gorilla in the corner of the room. That gorilla in the corner of the room. He's so heavy. 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 His face is like a coat of honor graven in stone. He never says a word, but he won't leave me alone. His eyes shine like a blizzard on the telephone. Sometimes he tries to laugh, but it just comes out a groan. For he remembers the garden well and the flaming shapes of hell. He's so heavy. He's so heavy. He's so heavy. He's so heavy. Well, it's a sickness I know, but ever since my youth I have entertained the hope of ascertaining the truth. Meanwhile, who knows how many blue moons have gone by, and then poof, I just been chasing dancing cats across a hot tin roof to nab a postulate of which the one and only proof is that gorilla in the corner of the room. That gorilla in the corner of the room.
I missed a beat, literally. Just like I did yesterday when I blipped on the vocal. Go back and do the same thing. All right. Why did I do that? Because I was hamming it up for the camera. That's okay. I don't fault myself for that. And I did clip it, but no big deal. What? Huh? Almost done. She wasn't scowling. So, see, this is where I should have, come back in, and I didn't. You know, it happens. So, I'm just scooting that back. And again, I'm going to punch in, as we say, right here, a little early, so I have time to get ready. And so that I don't overwrite these three kick beats, I'm going to make sure, right-click on the record button, right-click, and make sure that I have selected sound on sound. That way that the new recording is not going to overwrite the old. Okay. So set it right there where I want to punch in, record, and
That gorilla in the corner of the room. He
clicked it right away. Control Z. It's because I hit it in the wrong place and too hard.
That gorilla in the corner of the room. He's so heavy, so heavy.
Flipped it again. It's this flap. Hitting on the wrong part of the flap. Ish. Ish. Alright. I'm going to hold the flap down so it doesn't. You can hear it whack against the rest of the box. I'm going to hold it down with my fingers and hit it right there. Okay. Alright. Fourth time's the charm.
That gorilla in the corner of the room. He's so heavy, so heavy. He's so heavy, so heavy. He's so heavy, so heavy. He's so heavy, 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 so heavy.
See, I did that little flourish at the end. I did something, a little different at the very end. Tempted to do it throughout the song, but see, I didn't want to. Then you get into the weeds, and and then you don't like it later, and that's why I can go back and do it again. I can do it. I can do it again, or I can just add little details where I want on separate track. Is what it is. I thought at the very end I'd just stick in a few extra beats. I could live with it no matter what. I did clip it again, but it's very ever so slight. No biggie. I keep saying no biggie. No worries, no wuckas, as my Aussie friends would say. All right, so that's my again, there should be no latency issue because this is all being done through the same microphone. Here we go. So you can hear where I'm slapping the guitar or thumping the guitar with the heel of my hand. That's the snare. There's the kick now, and then you can now, relative to the sound, the snare sound I made, the kick is a little bit loud. Different things I can do about that. What I'm going to do is reinforce the snare sound that I made with the heel of my hand. Still in echo, input echo, which I rather like. It sounds studio-y, but I'm going to turn it off. So there it is, and real quick, I'm on the kick track over here to the left. I'm going to turn on, I'm going to show, pro channel is showing. I'm going to EQ it real quick. And you can see that, of course, some of my hits are louder and softer than others, right? I'm not a machine. A good drummer can be consistent, A real drummer can be consistent. That's why they're drummers. But even they are not perfectly consistent. So but I did good enough. And we're going to fix that later with, not fix it, but we're going to apply compression. And you're going to see what that does if you don't already know. Okay, so real quick, I'm going to just put an EQ on this just for funsies. Who knows? Maybe it'll actually improve the sound of it. It is just a cardboard box after all. All right, so here's my EQ section. Let me see. Oh yeah, global on. That means everything is enabled to be on and offed. I shouldn't use off as a verb. That means to horizontalize, to off. Okay, anyway, I turn on the EQ and I look for, there's bass, there's drums. Drums. Kick. Drums. Kick. Kick 02. Kick deeper. Kick more kick and sizzle. Kick, punch, and click. All right. So let's try them all. Let's drums, kick 02. There's the EQ graph right there. Click, click. Whoops. What did I do? Oh, okay. EQ expand. And if I double click that arrow button thingy, it worked last night. Okay, stuff like this just drives me nuts. Click, click. No! I'm using my left hand on the mouse. Gosh darn it. No? All right. That's really, 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 really annoying. Was it this one? Yeah. I don't know why they chose the on-off toggle button for this. Every time I do that, I toggle it on or off. There's got to be a reason for that. That's the EQ curve. Okay, enough. Toggled on. And let's hear it. Solo it. And off. Two on, two off. Count. Two on, two off, two on. A little bit more snap, a little bit more presence. Let's try deeper. It says deeper. I can do a much better Beavis and Butthead, but I won't. Okay, that's off. Okay, two off. On. It can very slight difference. These settings are not gonna make a huge difference with a cardboard box. Let's face it. But let me see. More kick and sizzle. Yeah, not gonna hear too much difference. But what the hell? Okay, two off, two on, two off, two on. The difference will be more pronounced after I apply compression. So maybe I should save EQ for after compression in this case. But let's try the fourth setting anyway. And then I got to run. Punch and... Oh, that's a bit more of a... Yeah. There's a scoop there in the low mid-range. You know, high bass to low mid-range. Up to mid-range. An enhancement in the... I don't know if that's technically the right term. Enhancement. That's just what I say. Okay. Let's hear it. Two off, two on, two off, two on. Let's hear the same two. There's a softer one and a louder one. That's what I should be doing, is listening to the same two beats on and off. Okay, just for the hell of it, I'm just going to I'm going to go with not deeper. No, not. Let's see, there's kick 2. There were 4 kicks, right? Punch and click. I'm on punch and click, kick and sizzle. All right, let's go back to kick 2. Okay, I'm going with that one for now. We'll see how I feel after I compress the kick. All right, so that's it. That's long enough anyway. Almost an hour and a half on a kick. What am I doing here? And the long-suffering Mrs. is waiting patiently to go get eggs. And I'm doing this. Hopefully, it will do some good to some people somewhere along the way. And it will not have been in vain. All right, so I'm going to disarm the track, unsolo it. Let's play a few seconds here. Oh, what I'll also do, real quick, sorry, long-suffering Mrs. This only takes a second. I'm going to, let me see. Yeah. Okay, so I should be, let me go back to, all right. Sends, right? Let me go back to console view. All right, so here's my kick. Got my kick selected over here. It's kick. And as you remember, I've got my reverb bus over here. I'm going to send the kick through the reverb bus. There are other things that I won't send through the reverb bus. That's why I have a reverb bus. Some things won't go. Some things won't ride that bus. They'll ride another bus. But I'm going to send it to the reverb bus. And now let's listen to it again. Let's go back to track view. Yeah. Cool. I don't care how persnickety you are. That's a kick drum now. It's a cardboard box that I'm going to throw away later today. First, I'm going to fill it with empty, no brand, zero cola empty bottles. Used to be other kinds of empty bottles. I'm so glad I don't have that, in my life anymore. All the empty bottles, having to hide them away, go around, it's like, internal garbage patrol, all my places where I've stashed empty bottles. Try not to clink them together as I collect them. As if the long-suffering missus doesn't know exactly what I'm doing. And then when you take the recyclables out to the recycle station, the Koreans are big boozers, man. They are. But they're really good at downplaying it, right? Even to themselves. So in this apartment complex, there's a recycling station area where, not going to go into that rabbit hole, but if you want to be a good citizen, a good member of the community, you separate your shit, and you'd be seen, putting the soft plastic and the different kinds of plastic into the different receptacles, and cardboard into cardboard, wood products into wood, cans into cans, bottles into bottles. And, there's, general glass bottles. And, there's bottles. And then, there's glass bottles. And the burlap sack for the glass bottles is the smallest receptacle in the recycling area. Right? And it's generally full of soju bottles, empty soju bottles. But it's the smallest one out of all the receptacles, giving the impression that, no, we don't drink that much. No, it's just that burlap sack is emptied out, probably 3 dozen times a day. Yeah. Aren't human beings funny? The way the things that we do to try to deceive ourselves and each other. Final digression. I gotta go. Gotta go get eggs and milk and lettuce. Yeah, life is beautiful in this benighted world. It's also horrible. I could cry. I really could. But I seldom do. Eggs and milk and lettuce with the long-suffering missus. Yeah. We're going to clean up this bass sound and go on to another percussion sound when I come back. Okay. That's it for now from lovely, scenic, overcast Paju City, South Korea. Over and out.